Introducing a new.
Hey, Miss Heather. Hey, Plywood, how you doing? Y'all are up and at it early. Good for you. And thanks for coming in. And man, I'm always very excited when you guys show up because that like will always hit the second you walk in. I'll see a like and then you'll say hey. And that is awesome. Ah, everyone had your sensibilities and sense of sweetness. So right now, I am just putting together some morning decisions. There's that little spoon I made yesterday. I'm still crazy proud of. It's kind of weird doing little experiments like that because we're sort of doing them for the practice of it and to learn things and how to use the tools and whatnot. But at the same time, you end up with something that's somewhat useful, but it's hard for people who are not into woodworking to really lock into why you would spend a couple hours making a 10-cent spoon. But it's a couple of hours of effort. It's going to allow me to have the fine tunesmanship to create the wooden robot that I'm going to ride to take over the world. So it's all a part of the plan. It's all a part of the eventual plan. I don't know if y'all can hear me too good. I tend to talk lower in the morning. Dellins, what's going on, man? How you doing this morning? Well, we're just in here trying to figure it out. Figured I'd get my cup of coffee going. I didn't have anything else to do this morning. Come over here and start working on some stuff. Also, I got to figure out how I want to do my drawing. I think there's a bunch of digital ways, like you could enter people's name in and then hit a virtual wheel. But like I'm a maker, so I really feel like I should make something physical that helps select the winners. Because I'm definitely going to be doing a lot of this kind of stuff, not just for this one mallet, but for all the stuff. Like, what am I going to do with a bunch of spoons and mallets over here? Like, I enjoy building them, but got to pass them on to somebody. And if somebody can appreciate it and use them, well then, wow. Well then, wow. So y'all forgive me. I'm just still over here kind of getting it together a little bit. But anyway, very happy with our carving set from yesterday. Got that from Amazon. I literally spent 17 bucks on that. I think maybe $4 in shipping. And I got all that with it too. So, oh, and I got these gloves they gave me, I guess so I don't hurt myself. But it came with a strap, came with some polishing compound, came with like 8 or 9 of these, a little block. Didn't come with that. But that's a good bit of stuff for less than 20 bucks. Like, that means like, what, $3 per item or something silly? Well, I'm thrilled about it. I'm thrilled about it. I know y'all are in here early and like, what is this dude doing? I'm lighting incense and getting the mood right. Trying to get my vibe. All right, basically. So, last night, Mike had an incredible live. I think he did really well last night from a financial standpoint. Good birthday for him. Robert G says, "Hey Wes, hey Robert, how you doing this morning? Good to see you. I'm just waking up and having some coffee," says Dylan. So am I, buddy. Well, I can't say just waking up. I am a naturally early riser. I've been up about 2 hours. Waking up more now, though. Good stuff. And I do want to thank you while you're here, Dylan, for letting me participate in your contest, because this harp mallet has really brought a little bit of traffic to me. And a lot of people have been really responsive to it, so I like contests and stuff like that. I never win them, but I do like participating in stuff. Bandito says, "Nice sharps." Thank you. They did seem to work out. I've only done one thing with them so far, and that's make this little spoon. But I made it out of this. Well, half of that. I may make another one this morning just to get some more practice in with it. I think that may be the first thing I've carved to that degree on this channel, where I carved the whole thing. Of course, I carved the hearts and a couple things like that, but to make a full item, that may be the first. I already had that knife, but it works good. I guess now we just have to decide. I have to decide what is the next thing that I want to do. Because where's that other little blank? Oh, I left it. I mean, that's what we used to carve our little spoon. Bandito says that mallet is sick. Thank you, thank you. Dylan says, "Very cool. Thank you for participating. I would love to have you on my live on Thursday." You have a live going on Thursday? What time? What time? Definitely will. Lady General says, "Ooh, I see a carving kit, Wes. Nicely done." Yes. But yo, $20. I'm gonna keep shouting it from the rooftops. Like $20 is a lot for all of that. And I probably got a half dozen more of these that came with it. They're just not in this immediate vicinity. But you get a strap, like that's cute, right? Little piece of, I think that's oak. Nice. Yeah, you can always use a strap. This is good for pocket knives too. The other strap is pretty big, so it's better for my planes and chisels. This one will definitely serve as well. Maybe I'll use this strap for the compounds and stuff. So I don't think there's anything left to do to this other than admire the beauty and craftsmanship. It's a fairly shallow spoon, though. I don't know if I did it right, but I did it, and it was fun. And this right here was awesome. Can we see the knives? Absolutely. Let's talk about the knives. I'll move this a little bit out of the way. This kit came with that little bugger, which was good. This one here, which was also amazing. I've never had a carving knife. I've never done carving, so I had no idea how well the ergonomics of how these things work on the wood. This one looks super cool. I still haven't figured it out. I feel like a tool should be comfortable when you use it, and I haven't figured out a way to comfortably use this tool. So I'm sure I just don't know what I'm doing yet, but hopefully I'll figure out something to do with it. And I could carve another spoon. Would y'all get mad at me if I tried? Hey, Shoop, what's going on? Shoop came through Mike's live last night. Shoop's whole family went through Mike's live last night and did subscriptions and donations to his channel, and that was really, really special, really awesome. Shoop's, the whole family, I just want to thank you from Mike, for me, whatever. I thought that was really nice, and I just wanted to acknowledge it. I love to see good people doing good stuff. And Shoop is having some a giveaway and some contests. So if you want to get over there and win some cool stuff, I would suggest doing that ASAP. Because they do giveaways over there. The Craig jig last time, and I don't know if you don't have a Craig jig and you get one, things have changed in your shop. You definitely can do some stuff that you couldn't do before. Shoop says, you missed my hat. I'm sending to Mike is making stuff. I did miss that. You sent to my hat? What kind of hat? Shoop, you did not make a wooden hat. Oh, I got to make a violin, by the way. I forgot. I've got one of my channel members, and y'all will learn this about me. I'm very loyal. One of my channel members asked me if I would make a violin necklace of some sort. And I said yes, because that is going to be an awesome, awesome thing to do. So I'm looking at violins right now online to see if I can find a good reference photo. I think I might have one. Let's see. It's giving me like violins, but I need the images, man. I think it's $1,200. Man, violins are expensive. Why won't it just show me the picture, dude? All right. Okay. Let's figure out what a violin is actually going to need to look like. Can we do it out of that? It might be too short. Plus, a violin has like a little hooky thing at the back side. So we're going to need a wider plank. But that will work. We're going to continue with the basswood because it's obviously very carvable because it came in the kit. Obviously very cheap because it also came in the kit in abundance. We need a pencil. Really, we need a mechanical pencil, but we'll make do. So let's figure out how we can draw a violin. First, let's just start at the bottom here, because it's flat at the bottom and it kind of curls up and then out. then sort of back in and up, and then back down, and that little bit, and then that little bit. Oh, this is awful. And then it curls over. And just try to imitate what we got on the other side here, which you may or may not be able to do. I'm sorry, I don't know if y'all can see me. Let me look at, I'm looking at this violin reference, so I'm not. Okay, you can kind of see me. Good morning, Frostbite. Good morning, Lady General. I have a hook knife. Nice. Yes, I do. It's not great though. I'll admit it. It's not great. The first one I got was pretty good, and then I tore it up pretty fast. And the new one doesn't seem to be as, you know. Arami says, "Good morning, sir. May your coffee be strong and your creativity be strong." Salute to that. So, today, we are making this violin. Now, I think one of the significant parts of this one is it's gonna have to have solid symmetry. Otherwise, it's gonna look dumb. And a good way to do that would be to copy it and then transfer it to the other side. But who knows? I think I'm going to shorten that up a little bit. I think a violin gets a little smaller at the top, looks like. And what else are discerning characteristics? So here, hold on, I'm gonna have to get another violin photo. This one's on its side. It's ridiculous, I know, but it's hard for my brain if I can see things upside down. But if I see them upside down, I can't draw them unless I'm drawing them upside down. And the violin that's on my screen is sideways, and that's making my brain not let the symmetry happen the way it ordinarily would. So give me a second. Perfect. I got one. So if I go like that, all right, let's go ahead and fix some of this we already messed up. Widen that just a hair. It's like the bottom here will like kick out, and that seems to be like an important characteristic of the violin. And again, I'm not ignoring you, chat. I just have to look down at this while I'm doing it. But fear not, my love for you has grown stronger with each day. Okay? So don't you worry. I am going nowhere. Where you going? Nowhere. You guys seen Boondock Saints? I think that is one of the most underrated movies of all time. And the both of them, there were two of them. First one was obviously better. Okay, so then we have kind of this little swirly thing. Starts right about there, comes down, it follows that contour a little bit, and then it just kind of loops under right here. So we're going to have to do that with ice. And sometimes we do the first one, then we do the second one. The second one's closer to what we want. And we got to go back and fix it. All right, no problem. So now that we got those in there, I don't know if I'm fully satisfied with those. It's not quite right. Yeah, I know what I'm doing wrong. I know what I'm doing wrong. This is worse to erase on, isn't it? There we go. So here's what I want to do. We got these, what I've got here. It'll come about, yay, I've got a line. And I've got another line. Right? And then this one curls over. Makes that a little circle. This one curls over. Makes that little circle. And then back down. Now, the second line loops under and over here, like so. That's a little more like what it's doing. Your brain says that's an S shape, so you start making an S shape with all the curls, but there's actually a similar, close to a straight line going down here, and then it just curls on each end. That kind of takes over. Now, there's this little thing right here at the bottom. That's going to be interesting. I think that's where you rest your chin or your shoulder or something. And that would be interesting if that was another type of wood. Yeah, that would be interesting. And then there is right above these two little squiggly squooches. These are who's and what's. And you want to start your who's and what's right there. This is center. You're going to keep that idea intact. This is center. And let's see, the handle is not nearly as long as, it's maybe right there. In my brain, it seemed like it was longer than that. But that's because once I get up there, start narrowing that down. And I'll just stop it right there. Seems to be 4. Oh no, it's got to be lower than that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then there's like something there, something there. That's going to get a little bigger. I'm not Trump's back. So is that. And then there's going to be these two little bumps. I don't know what they do. These protrude out. So does that. And then right there between these little jabble bobbers is this little banter bob. Make sure your banter bob is centered as well. So that your hooter schnitzel, when it comes up, it is also appropriately accounted for. If I knew what these parts were, I'd probably be better. My son plays the upright, so he would know what these parts were. But not his dumb daddy. Alright. So then we go back up from this. Like boom, 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 boom. With the lines. And they straighten out. Boom, 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 boom. We'll figure that out when we get to it. And then that's where the Doja Mahiki kicks in. And the Doja Mahiki is going to ride that line straight up. And all right. I'm not going to stress these lines a whole lot. We'll have to figure that out in translation. But the important part is we have some idea of what this thing should look like. And now we also have to figure out how to maybe get the 3D, how it's going to look from the side, because I got no idea how much effort that's going to be. So we're going to cut that because we don't need that much depth, but we did need more depth than what we were going to be able to get out of like a little flat stock. Actually, that might have freaking worked. But, you know, we want it to be able to curl back. The little neck curls back. So we got to figure that part out. But we're here now. So let's cut that thinner. We'll figure out how we're going to do this on the side. Should we do that too? Like, how's that going to go? Like maybe that thick. And then with the handle, I am going to have to find a profile. Let's see. Profile. Sorry, I have to make sure I do the research properly. Okay. So that is quite an interesting little bend that happens with that. It's like the neck goes up. And, it's forward. Okay, that's weird. Like that's the front. Well, I'm looking at it in reverse. Darn my brain. It just won't figure out how this stuff goes. Okay. So if that's the front, then the handle is kind of up here and curls back a little bit like that. And then it comes back up, wraps backwards, and then kind of curls back forward, and then makes a little doodly dad. And then that's sort of the head of the thing. I don't know if that's the right term. And the violin seems to shape more like that. So I have to account for that. It's not a guitar, you know? Gotta make these proper registration marks. Whew. Holy crap, that's gonna be complicated. Holy moly. I may not be good enough for this. But that has not stopped me historically. So, is what it is. Let's start figuring this out. First thing we gotta do is get our thickness cut. We'll cut it short and then we'll cut the thickness out of it because we only need half of that. That is wild. We totally could have did that. We totally could have done that. Technically, we still can, but I don't want to draw that again. Let's see. I have not been in the chat because I've been looking and drawing at this, so I'm sorry. Let me see what y'all talking about. Dylan says, sorry, I had to step away for a minute. I'm back. Lions is in the building. What's going on, Lions? Let me go all the way back. Let me go all the way back to the beginning of the chat because I've been absentee for a while. Looks like the first one I got, says Lady General, referring to my carving kit. Evangelist Marvel says hi, and I'm saying hi back to you. I appreciate you for coming through. Dylan is in this building, and she says detail and moral knives. Shoot came in and blessed us with your presence and gave us a lot of fun. Wes said small knives are for beautiful details like flowers and letters. Oh my God. Thank you, Lady General. That's what I'm happy about. Shoop says said they sent Mike a poop emoji hat. That's hilarious. That's perfect. Wes, is that a Beaver Craft set? I don't think so. Let me get the box. I'll let you see. I'll get the box and let you see. Dagoberto says hi. How you doing? Orami gave me blessings to my coffee. And I appreciate it. It came with this, which was funny because it does look like a little kid set, right? But it seems to work. It seems to work. Jimmy Brownette came through and dropped some flags on us. How you doing? Orami says, good morning, West Heads. Mister says, yo, good morning, West. I'm glad you came through, Mister. It's always good to see you over here. Lady General said, the violin's awesome. Thank you. Plywood says, hi, Jimmy, Orami, Dagoberto. Please forgive my American accent. I know no other languages and my diction for anything other than my sloppy grammar. It's awful. Lady General says, don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. I appreciate that. I always do. Alicia says, hello, bro. And I'm saying, hello back to you. Interesting job. Yeah, it's something to do. Plywood says, good morning, Frostbite Digital. And the Shoot also says, what's up to Plywood? Says, my mother is a popular artist in country, says Alicia. That's amazing. What kind of art? Arami says, chin rest. Yes, that's what it's referred to. I don't know nothing about about language and violins. What am I going to do with the hot dogs in that pouch? What? Oh, that's hilarious. What seems like a logical next step in carving: one spoon, two intricate small violin. Sorry if it sounds off, if it's a cello. The flex is going to be strong. This is going to be, it might be embarrassing, Heather. Um, and I believe my Korean brother or sister says hi. Hello to you. Make it a thick bass, says Heather. Lion says what's up, and he's in the building. I love it when Lions comes through because I love a Lions live. If y'all don't go over there, you're missing out. You're just missing out. Lions was I did my whole live yesterday was a nod to you, Lions. Do. French curve ruler can help, says Orami. How you doing today, buddy? Says Lions. I'm groovy. Roger says hi. Mister says I'd carve that in multiple pieces, assemble it like a model kit. It'd be easier for me to carve without breaking and kind of assemble like a real thing. That is a good idea. I think I'm going to do that with some of these parts, like these little twisty knob things and the chin rest. I think I'm going to do that out of different wood, even. You know, try to make something happen over here. In fact, it might not even be a bad idea to carve pieces and lay them right and end up with something. I don't know. I kind of wish I thought of that. But it's the contours and the details here on the side that this wood wouldn't be able to do or manage. But with a couple of pieces, maybe. Let's see. Tony says, you go, bro. I appreciate you, Tony. Mister says, sit carving kit. Yeah, man, $20. $20. It's not a great carving kit, but it is a group of sharp knives, not this. A group of sharp tools. Now, so far, everything has been fantastically sharp except this, which was odd because the one I got before, which was this one, I used the heck out of it and chopped it up pretty good and made it not sharp. And then this one I got and it started off not sharp, and I have no idea how to sharpen a tool like this. I might give a crack at it at some point, but I don't know how yet. Denny says something that I don't know what he means. And Bat says dynamite. Now, Lions, Lion says, just remember they're only really designed for soft and green wood. You'll get the best out of them there. I'll show you how to do it, bro. I appreciate that. Let me show you. Let me show you, Lion. You showed me how to do it. Took one of these and did that to it, huh? And then I made one of these from it with this little kit yesterday. But I like watched your live for hours. And I went back and watched some more. And you already showed me how to do this. So, shout out to Lions. If y'all were hanging out and enjoyed me making this spoon yesterday, this guy does it every day. And he does it with like he'll start off with a hatchet and just a freaking chunk of tree. Kyle says, love your craftsman style. Mr. says, that's such a great spoon, Wes. Dang. Maybe, I don't know. Like it's a spoon. But this was the most fun I've had in a long time. Now, I have a lot of fun in here. But this was very meditative and very scary. I always start big and just kind of whittle down to what it is I'm after. I even do that in construction. Like I usually make my cuts bigger and then come and work my way back to the line. But this worked out. I was really happy with my results here. I was really happy. Applesauce spoon. Yeah, ice cream spoon. I don't know. I just like holding it. You know what I'm saying? I don't like this thing. If I weren't giving this away today, by the way, then I don't know that I'd use this. Like I like it so much. It's a kind of it's a fidget spinner for me. I'll just be honest. Like I just like who wouldn't want to do that all day? You know what I mean? I saw that, and what kind of black and mild is that on the table? Little man, listen, those are incense, man. I often burn incense while I'm working to keep the evil spirits away and the positive vibes flowing. There's a tiny French fry fork I want right now, but it's expensive. It's 3D printed titanium. I've been collecting tiny everyday carry cutleries lately. That sounds wild, mister. That is wild. Lion says, I've got the bug now. You're absolutely 100% right. I got the bug the second I saw y'all doing that stuff, and I was like, oh, that'd be so cool. Wait till I find an hatchet. Let me wait till I find a hatchet. I got an axe, but I'm not wielding that thing indoors. So amazing. I woke up this morning thinking, though, I was going to make a fork, maybe. Somebody suggested that. And I was like, can I make a little fork? So I may use the other side to make a fork. This is how that spoon and what that spoon came from, essentially. And that's how I'm going to get another one. Salam dari Indonesia kawan, says Dini Fratama. Word. Man, I'm glad y'all like my spoon. I remodel houses, right? And my wife met me doing that. and she actually met me doing one of the nicer remodels that I've done. And so 10 years later, this doesn't impress her, and she doesn't know why she should be impressed by this. I am over the moon about this. I'm not even gonna front. You see how often I've been holding this thing up? When have I held anything up that much? Okay, let me calm down. Might need to take another sip of the coffee. Get these incense burning again. Great incense. They're from California though. I mean, to answer your question. Cali incense, which is probably Mexican incense. One of my past skills is miniature wooden ship construction. However, I did it just to prove to myself I'm good at what I focus on. That sounds like a great exercise, Kyle. Mr. says, yeah, that spoon profile, curved symmetry came out freaking perfect looking. And Lion says, man, thank you, Mr. And Lion says, man, it's great. You actually got the crank in there. Good, spot on. It's hard making anything like a spoon. Well, I was able to, listen, when I first started carving it, right, it was flat, but thick, because I'd drawn it on the front, and I was staying with that. And by the time I'd gotten the back of the spoon done, or, kind of started, the head of the front was way up here, and I was like, I remember you specifically saying that, and how you had to do that drop. I don't know the terminology you use, but that you had to do that in order to get a spoon that actually could spoon, rather than something dead flat that couldn't spoon. So that was the thing that triggered in my brain that made it make some sense. And I'm a little bit OCD, so yeah, the symmetry, came out good. It is a little wonky right here. It's a little bit heavier here and a little bit heavier there. You can see it if I turn it real slow. But amazing thing is this little bit of ribboning right here in the wood was perfect for cutting this. Like there was no tear. It didn't want to splinter. It didn't want to tear anything. And a lot of this wanted to. And a lot of this inside here wanted to. But just right there on the neck of that, it was the perfect texture to go over without ruining it. Gumby Gumba says, is he shooting H? Heck yeah, I'm shooting H. I pulled this out of the heel of my boot, man. Good. Lion says that grain is sweet. Mr. says, I love the fine detail work too, Kyle. I use vegetable oil to treat the wood, says Kyle. That's awesome. I am using currently the boiled linseed oil because I'm not gonna use this spoon for food. I'm probably gonna sit it on the shelf in my shop and shine a light on it. But all this other stuff, I got to do something with. And today, the something with is going to be that violin. And I am really, really torn about this, though. It's so small that it's going to deserve some really good detail. And because I do have this walnut, plenty of it in this size, and I've got a cherry, plenty of it, I am wondering if I carve straight into this, or, because now, I want to do it the best way, but I've also got plenty of this. And the concern was I didn't want it to look flat. I didn't want it to be a flat, like one-dimensional like this, right? I want it to be three-dimensional like that. And this isn't thick enough to do that. And if it is, by the time I try to do this kind of curvature on it, it's going to be breaking into pieces. Or I can sandwich a couple of these together and glue them and then carve it. Or we can carve individual pieces and do an assembly. And I really thought I knew what I wanted to do when I started. Here's what we'll do. I just think that's it. I just think that could be a sick color combo. You know what I mean? All right, let's see what's happening. Heather says the art kid's dilemma: doing art, getting accused of doing other stuff. Well, yeah, most of the greatest artists usually are also doing the other stuff, like the Hendrixes, the Picassos, the, you know, Kodak Blacks. Christopher says, I'm not shooting H, but I'm snorting it though. Oh my God. Calm down. Ice cream, yogurt, snow cone, even rice and sunflower seeds, says Mr. New Beginnings Woodworks is in the building. What up? New Beginnings Woodworks. Good to see you. Hey, Plywood. How late were y'all on last night? He says. He was talking about Mike's epic live last night. Mike's is making stuff. He says until about 1. Orami says, keep it simple, brother. You got this. Yeah, man, quite a task, but I think you got this. The colors will look sick. I think that's what Lions is saying. I am. Oh, you know, I drew out all of this, and here's the thing. Here is my real dilemma. Let me tell you. This is weird. I don't know if other people are like this. So I'm gonna ask so that you can tell me if you are, or if you know people that are actually like this, or if I'm just a freaking alien. I somehow log time in my head, right? And if I'm not learning something, if I'm not actively doing something, I feel like I'm wasting time, like I'm literally wasting life. And when I relax, it's like after I've done something, and I can only relax after I have accomplished something that I find valuable that day. Otherwise, I feel like I have wasted my day. So then when I'm relaxing actively, I can do it because I'll go, this is a part I'm doing the relaxing, right? Because I'm doing something that's weird. But whenever certain things go on where I draw this out and it took time, and if I realize that there's a better idea, which is one of my core principles, if you get a better idea, the better idea should win, right? Aesthetically, this is the better idea, I think. But I've done this already, and I'm all proud of it, and I'm like, yeah, but now it feels like I have to give up on it, and then in my brain, it's like, that's wasted time. You blew all that time. But the weird thing about YouTube and what it has done for that piece of my brain is my brain will recalculate and go, well, you got some watch hours. You make it. Some people watch that, and then I feel better about it. So, welcome to my therapy. Um, we're gonna go ahead and draw out that violin again, but on the thin stock, and then we're gonna draw it out again, the parts that we want to make out of the what do you freaking call that? Walnut. We'll do that. So, cherry and walnut violin is what we're doing, and the handle, we are gonna do that separately. I don't know how I'm gonna carve that separate because it's freaking tiny, but I am gonna do that separately. And that'll give me the opportunity to maybe make this a little bit bigger because it's going to be a necklace, right? But I don't want to be too tiny. I don't want to be too big, but it's going to be a necklace. All right. Lion said, you're the exact same as me, man. Yeah, it's all learning, man. Everything you do, man, that is good to know. That is good to know. I'm not a freak out there by myself. Trevor says, such a beautiful piece of art. Kyle says, the best thing about craft is I do not have the tools for the job. However, I had bits and pieces to make custom tools that worked well and left a perfect finish. That's exactly right, Kyle. That's how it goes. Runic is in the building. Halil says, hi, what's up, Halil? And Runic is in the building. If you get a chance to see Runic live, it is therapy. Runic has the most amazing voice. Lions is like this as well. This amazing voice. It's very soothing. It's hard to define, but it's extremely soothing. And you can turn it on like a radio station or something, and you put it on your television and just walk by, and you'll see glittery, pretty paintings, or you'll see very detailed little painting of these micro miniature figurines, or this like LA style um, pinstripe airbrush glittery candy coat intense paint job. Like, I'm watching Runic because I'm stealing ideas. I'm learning over there every single time I'm over there, particularly when I catch them live. And I have some old trucks, and I'm gonna do some stuff on one of the hoods. Eventually I'll have that hood just sitting in here, and I'll be airbrushing something that I learned from Runic on the hood of that truck, and it'll be a good time. Man, where did my OCD take me that time? What Runix is awesome. Runix says I'm gonna need Higher West to do my channel intro. No, man, I'm just over here telling the gospel. Lyons is a great conversationalist. His channel is about that, and a fantastic carver. But I'm gonna do something now. I'm gonna go ahead and start to get this drawn on one of these things. I think this would be. I got these two pieces for the body. I think, or should the body be the darker wood? That's a question. Because I was thinking maybe the chin rest down here being the darker wood, but it might be nice to have the body be the walnut. But it could be that, and then I could accent with the walnut, maybe a walnut handle. What would be nice if there was a way for me to make these strings these strings. Just really thin slivers of wood that are upright, and just groove them right in, and then shave them down. Oh, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is just make the body of this. That's just this piece right here, right? I'm going to do that out of at least 2 pieces laminated of something. Um, y'all tell me. Lion says we call it talking shit. Right on. Joseph says, hey dude, how you doing? Ryan says, happy Saturday, man. I'm glad you're back to it. I appreciate it. Inlay, oh yeah. Orami, that's what we're going to do. And ladies and gentlemen, birthday boy is in the building. Mike is making stuff. Mike, that makes you a Leo, right? You're the last day of Leos. I was in a conversation about this yesterday. You're the last day of the Leos, I believe. Sonia said hi. How you doing, Sonia? Runic says burn some pine or other soft wood so that growth rings expose and then shave them off to use them as strings. Are you being brilliant in this? Yo, I'm so glad to have y'all in the chat, man. That's what I'm talking about. I'm gonna get another piece. This is kind of scrappy. I want to look at my wood and actually decide where the best part is. No pun. No pun intended. Where is it though? Okay. West does it flex the best budget. Yes, push your chest back to it. Shitty. Not this one. Not this one. Oh, yeah. Shit. It's missing. I hope there are no children in here. If there are children in this room. What's up, kids? Oh, it's gonna be some cursing, boys and girls. Gonna be some cussing. How do I just have this and not have that? Maybe I'm mistaking them. Maybe I'm thinking that these are the same thing, and maybe they're not. I've got cherry, and then I've got like a something else, some other fruit wood, maple, which is not a fruit wood. But one of them is laminated, and I didn't know it, and it turned out to expose itself on the work as I was working it, and that kind of ticked me off a little bit. I don't want to make that same mistake, so I'm looking for, these all should have been together. So let me see. Let me make sure I got the right stuff. I never got my life together. See, this is the wood I'm looking for. I just don't see it. This ain't the same stuff. This ain't that. It is. It might be that though. No, it's a different grain. That ain't the same piece of wood. If you look close, see, that's laminated. That's not the same wood all the way through. It's like plywood. No offense there, plywood, but I don't want this piece to have that look. I want it to have this look, where you see that same wood all the way through. But I want a whole piece of this, and I've got some because I've only used a little of it. But I don't have any idea where it's at. Maybe this is God trying to tell us something. What if we do Yeah, what if we do the back of it dark, the front of it light, this little thingy right here dark, chin rest, and then maybe up here on the handle, we'll figure that out when we get to it. But right now, let's do the body. Let's do it. And then we got to figure out how to freaking cut it. Tell you what, cut it after. Let's go ahead and rip this real fast. Over there. Oh, wait. Don't know what that was. Weird. Weird. So many insects in this shop. I didn't expect roaches to be one of them. Let's see. Let's chop a little piece of this off real quick. Done. Go ahead and knock this off real quick. Done. Keep our little scrap. And that's going to be about the same size, right? Similar cut, so we'll go ahead and hit that. The best part about having some power tools is that, look, I found a piece of it, is that you can make these straight, perfect cuts really fast if you're already set up. And then it's easy to get going on your thing. Let's see. Because I don't want to be fussing around with a little freaking handsaw cutting stuff like this. It's not decorative, it's utilitarian. And if it's utilitarian and not decorative, then I want to be efficient. And it'll be a smoother, straighter line. Because that's how it works. So, not always a purist, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. These two pieces go together quite nicely. I think that's what we're going to do. Here is another one. That's not too bad either. Grain-wise, I think either is suitable. Let me see what this other piece that I discovered seconds ago looks like. That ain't too bad. That's kind of got some nice stuff going on. That's pretty busy. I like that busyness. It's such a small piece. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to cut this piece that size. Let's do it this way. Put them together. Go ahead and make our lines now. To the saw, Batman. Oh wait, that would be Robin. I would be saying, to the saw, Robin. Because if Robin said that to Batman, he might get fired. You know what I mean? To the Batmobile, Batman. Robin, you're overstepping. You don't do it like this. You're an amateur, and I'm slightly. Put your eye out, kid. All right, back over here. Now that we're gonna leave right there for the time being, because we're not gonna run that saw, cut that sliver, and cut our finger off. All right. But we are going to go ahead and put these two together. That's going to give us some depth here. And then when we put the thing on the front, we'll get some more depth out of that. We'll get the handle on. We'll get some more depth out of that. gotta still make sure it don't get too big, right? So let's go ahead and decide now that currently it's too big. That's the best looking part of that wood, and this is pretty stable and similar all the way through. I'll leave it as is, and we'll go ahead and attach it like that, and then we'll just work within that framework, right? But we're gonna go ahead and glue these together. That's the part I need to get going on so that we can make this whole thing cool. But here's the thing, the back, right? Say this is how we're gonna be oriented. Then the back, the handle is gonna come back up from here. We're gonna have to probably chisel that out somehow and then place it in, and that might be a nice inlay or something. I'm good with that. It also wouldn't be bad though to have this be the violin face. That'd be kind of sick, right? Oh, I'm so torn. Oh, Skeletor Ross says, holy irreversible ear damage, Batman. I think that's what got the second lead singer for AC/DC. He can't preform alive anymore. Holy smokes. Runic says, time to get my day in the shop started. Hope you all have a blessed day. Same to you, Runic. Runic also has a magic ponytail, if you did not know. His hair is like glorious silver. Damn it. So jealous. I gotta work on that. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing clamped up. Let's get it clamped up, and then we can draw it out while it's clamped up. Sorta. I'll show you what I mean. Where's the glue? I have a bunch of different glues here, and I also have very specific preferences. And I use this stuff all the time, and then so my favorite stuff gets moved around because I'm using it, and then I lose it. Or even worse, it's just right there, and I've been looking at it so long that it's disappeared in my mind. And then I have to try to reimagine. See? You see what I'm saying? It's right there. Working on my sea lion powers, lions. Dang. So we're going to take 2 minutes. Shout out the birthday boy, Big Mike. We're going to celebrate all weekend. Let me get back. I talked to Mike and then he disappeared. I disappeared, not him. Da 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 da. Mike got some more happy birthday shouts. And he says he's good. And sadly, she reached out. She said she had to call it off. Call what off? What's going on? I asked, no response yet. Skeletor Ross says, good morning, sir. Productivity followed by my parades for everyone. I got my trees and bushes trimmed this morning. Right on. Chat needs some kind of soundproof covering for the microphone when I'm being loud, like cutting with that saw. I'll do better. I'll try to do better. Adelcia says hi twice, and I'm sorry I didn't respond to you. Hi, how are you? I'm busting up Skeletor Ra's eardrums, and I'm so sorry. Mike says, my only issue this morning, for some reasons unknown, every time I want to get up, my leg wants to Charlie horse. That's dehydration, Mike. You need a bunch more water in you. Mike, you need some hydration. Mike, with some pickle juice. See, Heather knew. Thanks, Mike. Hope you're well, man. Happy birthday, friend, says Lions. We're laughing at pickle juice. I think that's an inside joke from last night. Yeah, I'm good, man. Hi, I'm from Trinidad. Trinidad. Bless up them. I'm sorry. That doesn't necessarily mean you're Rasta. But people from Trinidad say bless up. People from Trinidad speak like fast. I can't do Trinidad too fast. So I'm not going to put a whole lot of pressure on this, right? And because I'm not going to put a whole lot of pressure on this, I'm not going to put a whole lot of glue on this, because I'm more interested in that glue disappearing, because I'm going to have to carve into it at some point, right? Into it. And because of that, I don't want too much in there. Usually I overglue stuff. Today I'm not, but this is not going to need a whole lot of machining. Plus it's going to get a finish and all that stuff. But right now I get to use my baby alligators. I hardly ever get to use my baby alligator. Baby alligator. I brought you in a pack in a minute. 20 or 30 of y'all, I ain't used one of you yet. I finally get to use these old ass alligator clamps. Alligator clamps. All right. This is my alligator clamp song. These are not very powerful, so I might just have to put a little bit more on it. Just a little more. That's good. That's good. Oh, snap. I got 80 likes. Woohoo. Woohoo. Mike, your live was epic last night, broski. Are you in here? Are you in this motor scooter? Oh my God. Lion says bless up. Mike says he's good, man. Frank, where are we at? Oh my God. Ugh. I'm still drinking this coffee. I'm not allergic to woodwork family. So that's squeezing up while we come to grips with the way I have to glue this up. I cannot draw on it while it's drying. So it will dry relatively fast, but we got to find something to do in the meantime. Could be that cane. We got to do something with that cane. We got to do something with that cane. You know what we got to do? Something with that cane. I knew you would guess it. And also, I think we need like maybe one more clamp. That's all. Just one more clamp. No disrespect to the baby alligator clamps, but come on. You got 35-year-old springs in you. You've never been used before. You're an embarrassment. But if y'all continue to perform today, you may get future opportunities. Okay? We're gonna sit the baby alligators over there. I'll tell you something interesting that contractors have to hear all the time. All the time. Like people with jobs and stuff, right? You just go to your job and you do the job and then they give you your check at the end or whatever, right? You don't have to negotiate it but once, like at the very beginning when you get hired, and then that's it. You know, the agreement stands. People think that contractors will go jump for joy when they say, hey, do this job for me for not enough money for you to eat off of, because I've got a lot of friends and a lot more projects around here, and you could be doing those things for even less money to eat off of. I don't know why they think that's incentive to be like, yeah, I've got a lot of other work for you to do. I'm like, I don't want to do this shit. From a certain group. You know what I'm saying? Some clients are that way. All of these are using the same little plastic cover up, and that's a little bit lame. I mean, it's cool that it works, but it looks cheapy. It looks cheapy. I don't like it. Lions, I got a question for you, very specifically. What up, Samuel Driggers from Florida? How you doing? Barney Rubble, what's the happenings? Good to see you again. Bam, bam. Gaps and pounds for you, home. What's the weather like in Florida right now? Lions, my question for you whenever you respond is, what do people in the UK think of Slick Rick? Or are you old enough to even know who Slick Rick is? That's a follow-up question to my first. Samuel says it's honey and hot. Julia says, can I make a longbow? You're dang on right I can make a longbow. As soon as I learn how. The weather in Bedrock, it's always dry and dusty. Well, you watch out for those tar pits, buddy. Stay safe out there in them Bedrock streets. You know what I mean? It's a whole lot of saber toothing going on these days. Let's put this away for just a second. Just a second. We're not going to forget our violin is going to happen. I don't know where it is. Where's the block that I drew it on? Oh, right there. That'll be something for you to look at instead of me and my ugliness. Look, this thing came with a handy little carrying case too, and all these protective covers, and all of these things. So happy with it. But I'm going to put it away for a second. This case, I don't know if that's genuine leather. I would speculatively say it's not. You can also look at my other beautiful friend. Or my new pride and joy. I'll just put these right here like that. Little family. Little family. Little family of lovers. Do 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 do. I'm trying to think of how I gotta do some stuff with that cane. And I'm trying to figure out what we'll call it finished. And it may be finished now. It may be finished enough. Maybe it'll come to me as I'm cleaning it. I'll clean that cane real quick. The original OG Big Daddy cane. Ugh. Can you see it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? That's old school human beatbox with the Fat Boys. If you don't know about that, ask your mama. All right. I'm going to let this hold that upright a little bit. So, Julia says, I appreciate your productivity and I don't mind. It's the devil's workshop. I know. I appreciate you for appreciating me. So I appreciate y'all. If you appreciate us, then rock with us. Real hip hop, not hard to spot like shoplifters. Every now and then I bust out a song and do some freestyle rap like you never ever seen a wood. Fan Lou says hi 2 times. Hi, Fan Lou. How you doing today? Am I saying your name properly? I hope so. Cheers to you. Happy campers. Okay. Last time we dealt with this cane, we had put this red on. It soaked in nicely. We had this black on. It soaked in nicely. And then we did the rings here. It worked out pretty good. And then while you were gone, I had some time alone in the shop without you, and I cleaned up the copper around these edges. And I think it's decent, but the copper is inlaid a little bit, so on this edges, I think I'm gonna sand those down until I hit the copper. Oh snap! Did my thing die? What happened? Oh, it didn't. That's weird. Screen stopped. It keeps trying to update my phone. It's so bizarre. So bizarre. All right. Nonetheless, it's these copper rings that I think I'm going to sand down 2 now. And then I'm going to just work my way down the cane and get the rest of the finish off from the last time that we thought we were finished and did. And then I'm going to clean up the top, give that another sand so that the stuff's not trapped in between, give it a nice cleaning, and then we will put a finish on it, because this, when it looks glossy, is amazing, but it had to dry because it's an oil-based dye. Frank says, that cane looks like the rod of correction to me. This is going to be a stylish way to keep the Dobermans off you if you're going for a leisurely walk on a Sunday afternoon. It makes for you to be a formidable foe for any 4-legged fellow who should decide to follow in your footsteps along your fortuitous journey, my friend. I bet you didn't think I could keep it going that long, did you? We're going to start with a little lady grit. And when we put this on, we're going to put it tight to this edge. That way we don't have to worry about overage getting further than where we want it to go. Tight on the edge, that's going to be nearest to work. And because I don't want to interfere with this black, I only want to pull away over here. So I'm going to just set this on the shoulder. I don't know. This stuff will still stain while it's this way. And these are white tees, you know what I mean? Maybe like this would be good. That's all right. Now, this would be one of those moments where like a pattern, I think they call it a pattern maker's vise, would come in super handy. Because you can hold the work and move it and turn it in every angle that you would ever want. See, I just want to expose that edge right there so it's not tucked underneath that wood, you know? And anything else I see along the way, I'm going to just go ahead and knock it off right now. I'm like using this thing like an eraser, sort of thing. So here's what I'm going to do. Good right there. Work that corner clean. Man, we have so many good creators in here this morning. It is a blessing to have so much talent hanging out in a circle. It's like a pool of people who are better than me at various things that I can say, hey, how do you do this? And they're willing to teach me. And that is a blessing. I don't know how many of you have friends that you can actually learn from, but it's pretty amazing. This is the largest pool of creatives I've ever encountered, where I had direct access to. Like talented people, not just some goofus trying to be an artist because they think the idea is cool, but people who obviously put in the effort to understand things on another level and do things on a different level with their craft. At whatever stage of it they're at, it's all relatively new to me. So it's nice to have you in here, so I just wanted to thank y'all for that. And for anybody who is here to observe any of this, look around in this room at who's commenting. Those people also have channels. And it was Dad's Workshop, who was saying issued a challenge that you make a monetary donation or get a membership to your favorite channel on YouTube this month, or a singular donation, whatever you want to do. But I think that's a fantastic idea. You don't necessarily, I'm not pulling for it for me necessarily. I'll take it, but I just think that's a nice thing. I'll be honest with y'all, I didn't even realize how much of a bum I was on YouTube before I started making content. I watched a lot of creatives and a lot of stuff, and I just watch it, and then after it was over, flip it off the screen and watch something else, or watch another video. I might watch 10 of a creative's videos and not have liked a single one. Like, I might have learned a whole genre of something or how to build something and never did a comment and never did a donation. And now I have seen the error of my ways, and I do actively contribute to the channels that I love. I'm a member of a couple, but only a couple right now. But I like and subscribe. And that's all I'm saying. Like and subscribe. Oh, snap. Colo gave me a super chat. Good work, brother. Shout out from Australia. That's super cool. That is super cool. That is what I'm talking about. And I'm not saying it like just for me or whatever on any of that stuff. But really, really, that's what it's about. Is doing that for the creators. And I appreciate it. Because nobody's getting an easy check here, I promise you. I'm not getting a check at all yet. And a lot of guys that are doing some fantastic content also are not. And there's nothing else that I could do today based on how the algorithm and the YouTube and all that stuff works that would have made me $2. Like, that's how difficult it is to do. This chat, I don't care if 100,000 people come through here, it won't make $2 on its own. It won't. And it's weird, I know, but because it's live, it won't. It won't generate anything except for the super chat while it's live. Like, people would have to come back and watch it later. And that is about 1 in 10,000 will do that. So for all these creators that are out there, they're not making a bunch of money. But Colo is looking out like a champ. And I appreciate you from Australia, down under. Good day, mate. And all those bits. Like, to Americans, Australians are like Europeans with like a Florida kind of vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like, just a little tougher, a little wilder, a little bit more party in you. I don't know. I could be reading that wrong. Dad's Workshop says, oh, snap, Colo chat. I'm glad you're in here, Calvin. Dad's Workshop. If you get an opportunity, y'all, go over there and watch some dope stuff happen. And get some real knowledge. Dad's Workshop. Calvin is one of the more educated people that I know. And he makes it his business to know the details and the theories and the understanding and materials that he's using, so that when you ask him, he can give you very accurate information. Whereas I'm digging stuff out of the trash, I don't know where it came from, except for it used to be a headboard or something like that, right? So that's a place you can get some actual learning. I've learned a lot over there. Mike, from Mike is Making Stuff, you almost think about Mike as a woodworking mechanic, right? Mike will get underneath there with a flashlight and a hammer and make you something very functional for your shop. He's a good guy for makers to follow because he'll show you how to make your stuff perform better, which is a great skill set. It's like, I don't really know many people who are doing that on YouTube. So I think it's a good way to get some free information. But there are people who are in this chat right now who have joined my channel, and it's awesome. And there are people who are maybe don't have it right now to do anything but subscribe, and they may not ever want to invest money in something that they're getting free informationally. And I get that. But there are some perks to the membership. today we're going to be giving away a mallet, 2 mallets in fact, one to a subscriber and one to a member. And all of the members who asked, all the subscribers who asked on any of my videos said, I want that mallet. You'll be entered in, keeping track. And I'm putting you in a hat, and I'm going to pull out the winner for chicken dinner. Out of appreciation, because I love that you come through here. I love that you're not coming through talking crazy. I love that you come through here and actually contribute. I love that you come in here and tell me what you liked about what we did that day. It really is one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. And that part I cannot do alone. I can't generate that feeling of accomplishment. But it takes another human being to reflect that back. And in my case, it has been a few dozen human beings who've done that. You're one of them. I don't take it light. That's dope. Right now I'm putting my little chamfer back on. Because remember, this is the 80 grit, so this is pretty heavy. But we got to get that old finish off and get back down to the bare wood. So we're going to do it. After that, we'll dust it off. And make sure we got another grit on there. And we'll knock it all the way down till we hit 220 over the whole cane. And then we'll be ready for our finish. And I know occasionally I'm going against this grain here, but it's the wrong thing to do. There's no excuse. I was being lazy. But we're back. Doing the right thing, baby. This cane has really come along. And I think it's really turning out good. Let's see who else is in here. Samuel Driggers is back. What's up, Sam? Frank is in here. Says, I have a friend from Guyana carved the full anatomy of a man on a cane of a leopard wood. It was the best I've seen. The wood is very unusual. No rings of grain, but naturally has spots. Oh, that's amazing sounding, Frank. I'll tell you, the best work I've seen, the best woodwork I've seen in person in Thailand at a temple. And there was a gentleman there who had dedicated the last 13 years of his life carving these beautiful beams. They were support structures for the temple. And he carved beautiful scenes in every single one of them. From the floor to the ceiling, 12 feet higher. Some places 16 feet high. And he just got on a ladder and carved from the floor to the ceiling. Freestyle, the whole thing. Never drew a single thing. Intricate scenes. I'm going to do I'll do it on a short. I'll show you guys on a short. I've still got some of it on film. That's where I went for my honeymoon. But quite amazing. I'm not kidding when I'm saying this. I'm going to say this because I'm being vulnerable, but I'm not kidding when I say this. I stepped in that temple and I saw what he had done, and my eyes immediately began to water. And I could not believe it. It was like I was seeing something from a different planet. I couldn't imagine the time. I couldn't imagine the commitment, the dedication, how he had done it. It was all hand tools. had zero power tools. They were all chisels and mallets. That's it. And he was sitting on a slab of wood. I don't know what it was. That was probably 20 feet long, about 8 feet wide, and it was a single slab, and it was supporting his entire weight. He was sitting on top of it with the chisels while he was carving it, the seam in it, and amazing work. A lot of this is sort of grunt work, but very necessary. But it also gives me another opportunity every time I do this to sort of refine my edges, or if I'm happy with them, just manage them and maintain them, and just give them a, a little scratch coat over. Also with the sanding, when you're going with the heavier grits, you have to consider the wood grain just as much as you have to consider it when you're carving. The wood grain is an important part of all of this. And you just can't get away from having to learn it. And you don't have to learn it by sitting down in a book, but you do have to learn it as you work it. That wood's not going to do the same thing under that handle as it's going to do on top of that handle. Oh, okay. So Plywood and Calvin from Dad's workshop are discussing Mike's birthday bash last night. The whole Virgo party in there. Leo party? Leo. And it seemed like it went really smashing it. I was there for a little bit and had a good time. Give me a break in the rules. Had a pretty hardcore discussion on King of the Hill. Some of that we're just gonna have to agree to disagree on, Some of it. I think Mike might be from Arlington, Texas. I don't know yet. That is that linseed oil section looking good. In what? Oh, before I sand it all on. You sand all of this stuff off. The interesting thing about this little sander right here is it's the exact motion that you would use with a little block plane. It feels like that. Lets you go with the grain, lets you stay on your plane, and it lets you see as you sand, which is not always the case. The other stuff. When you've got a big old sander, you don't really get to see until the sander moves out of the way. and you're taking off so much material. Work my way all the way around. Get that whole joint clean. Now, I don't know if you noticed it, but I noticed it. You got a little crack opening up right here. It's right here. I'm gonna blow it open real quick. Because my compressor's still upstairs. That's the crack I'm talking about. Now, a lot of people are going to disagree or want to disagree with this. The idea here of how I'm going to fix this. But I don't care. Alright. I'll show you what I'm going to do. Gotta be careful because that cane will fall off the other side over there. Alright. I got 116 likes and I got some donations today from Australia. Blimey. Hey William, what's going on? Making a cane. Hey Sally, how you doing? Plywood says, I couldn't get in that conversation. I never watched the show. I can respect that, Plywood. I probably watched all those shows way longer than I should have. All right. So, we don't know whether or not this crack is superficial or not. We do know it's a crack, though. See? We can see that it goes through a good little bit, so what I'm doing here is just kind of squeegeeing it back down in there. Right? I'm just working it down and flattening it out. I'm not just pressing it out, I'm pressing it down in there like a squeegee. See, it's getting lesser and lesser every time I come back with it. So it's just pressing in until I've got all of that glue pressed in. It looks like it, but it's not just smearing into that over the surface, it's pressing into that grain, and that's what we want. Now we go back to our heavy grit sandpaper, and we don't have to add nothing to it. It'll fill itself in with the same wood that is everywhere else on it. See? Gone. William says, okay, let's watch you do your thing. All right, William, appreciate you. Brumsware, hello, how you doing, Miss Claudia? How you doing? All right, here we are. Here we are. Taking photos of the cane. Swinging back and forth and doing our thing. Happy camper, what a deal. What a deal. What a deal. I appreciate everybody who's here right now. Thank you so much. We're in our woodworking phase. We made us a spoon. If you dig in this kind of business, Lion's Workshop. fish shop is where you want to be. I don't know why it says fish shop, but he does a lot of woodworking. He did have an aquarium on there yesterday, though. So maybe if you want to see there's more stuff like this in this heart contest, Dellen's Handmade Woodworking is having this contest where you can put a heart in your whatever it is that you make. You can go over there and get the details. If you're interested in winning this mallet or another one of the mallets that's in my shop that's going to be in this contest, today's drawing tonight, you go to one of my videos and say, I want this mallet underneath it, and you can get in there. Or I want that mallet, whatever it is. Also, Calvin from Dad's Wood Shop is also, he might be at the end of a mallet giveaway, but go over there and see. He might have one more available, because we all make mallets because we like it. And people need them. If you're a beginning woodworker, a mallet is a great tool to have in the beginning. Now, if you're not, now I wasn't a beginner with tools when I started, so I was able to make my own mallet, but not everybody is there yet, because I used about, $800 worth of equipment to make it before I got in the skill set to do it by hand and all that stuff, and it still wasn't a good mallet. It was awful. I mean, it worked, but it wasn't as good as what you'd be getting over there from Dad's workshop. My bad. So you should check that out, is all I'm saying to you. But if you just want to chill here, you can do it. Miss Claudia says it's a beautiful cane you're making. I appreciate that. Thank you. Salute to you. I'm trying. Yvonne says hi. Hello. Chisholm says hi. Hello. And my friend has returned from Korea, I believe, and says hi. So I'm going to say hi to you, and I probably should learn how to say hello in Korean so that I can do that properly. Hi, lovely cane. What wood are you using? What woods are you using? This is oak, pine, and oak again. And it looks like a three-piece, but it is a three-piece, but it's a three-piece in that sense. This goes all the way through. This is all the same 3 pieces of wood, and these joints are superficial, and all this decor as well. I'm going to clean it all up, and then you'll be able to kind of see what we've done. It was a lot of very unique things we did with this cane, I think. Unique to me, anyway. So now I'm going to move into a lighter grit. This is going to be a 120. And the first thing I'm going to clean up is up here around this edge where we started, so that the things that are closest to the appearances and such have to be the neatest. Things that you get nearest to and that show the detail the most, have to make sure those parts are clean and neat, because otherwise you draw attention to a problem. And as woodworkers, it's very addictive to do that. I don't know why we do it. We tell everybody, hey, look at the thing that's wrong with all of this that I did. Let me show you, while you're telling me I did a good job, let me tell you why I'm so insecure. It's wild. I don't know why. Scared me, I guess. So I'm just going to do it in sections, right? Because when you're changing grips, it's not always easy to tell what you've already covered. So you have to be somewhat systematic in some of this. And I'm just hoping that it's clean enough that my dye is cured enough where all of this holding that I'm doing up here next to the head and all this sawdust that I'm making, but it's dust that I'm making. Is it sawdust if it's not from a saw? Like, I'm not sawing, so is this even called sawdust? And should it be? It's a bigger question. So, while this wood dust hopefully isn't working its way into my finish up here, but again, some of this is the necessary grunt work of getting good finishes. Like, it's not as fun for a lot of people. A lot of people don't like sanding. I don't mind it at all. It's another chance to touch the work. And as I'm touching the work, I can tell where my imperfections are and where they are not. And it's important to know. For the sake of the work, for the sake of the piece, and for the sake of the future piece. And a lot of this with the handle just needs to be smooth. We just need to make sure we get all of our rough anything out of there so that where you're touching it, it's absolutely clean, smooth, and comfortable. It feels good. I know you can't see what I'm doing on the inside from here, but now you can. So the only reason I'm going against the grain here is because I want to be really tight to this line and I don't want to cross it. So if I do that little bit right at that edge and then I just kind of start working my way away from it, I won't leave any bad lines, any scratches in my finish that I don't want. Now I'm just going to be light when I cross over this because I don't want to scratch it. But if I keep it flat and go right over the top and not touch it, I reset that back a little bit. Record it. Again, this part right here, doing two things. We're taking off the old finish. It cleans up the wood, so to speak. Gives you a new finish. Get the wood prepped for a new finish because it's back to open pores. And I think we're going to do a gloss finish on this thing when I'm done, like a gloss finish of the whole thing. Very tight there next to that metal, and then sand my way up and away from that. Around this inside, soften it up. That's the handle, that's the touchy part. Soften that up every opportunity. Each time we go over it and soften it up a little bit more, it's a little bit more refined, obviously, but it really does help that curvature just kind of work and feel a little bit, not broken in, but soft from the very beginning, like comfortable from the very first touch. Doesn't have to break in or anything like that. But remember, somebody who is carrying a cane, especially a cane that's taking this much effort and this much work, probably going to want to feel good, right? Ergonomics are the most important part. And I know this makes it look like gonzo, but that can't be helped because the way this handle is, you can hang it on stuff. You don't have to worry about it falling off. But it can also lift you up out of your chair. And that's what we need. And if you go walking, you can also crack a Doberman if he comes to eat your feet. All right, we're getting to Brian Yee says, is he building a weapon or a walking cane? Whichever one it needs to be in the moment, I would say. Bad Dragon, how you doing? Good to see you in here. Samuel says that's making that grain pop. Thank you so much. Does seem to be going good. What grit am I going to sand it to, says Highway 69. I am going to probably stop at 220. Right now, we're at 120. And 220 is next on the pad. And I may go to 400. I don't know that that's necessary, but I may go to 400. Tends to agitate people when you go beyond 220 because woodworkers tend to think that's pretty much the limit of what wood grain can do. I don't know. But that's not the same for finishes after you put it on, you know what I mean? And like maybe the 2K finishes that I might put on when I'm done, I can sand that up to 6,000 grit if I wanted to get an automotive slick finish, but I don't know that I want that. I want it to look slick. I don't necessarily want it to be too slippery. So, we shall see. I want it to be smooth, for sure. But slick, I'm just not sure. A lot of other people will be also a little upset with me that I haven't cleaned all of this dust off before I went over to this 220. And rightfully so. I could be contaminating my wood by putting sawdust actually in the wood grain while I'm doing that, you know? It's a legitimate beef. And sometimes you do what you want to do, and folks get mad at you. You don't have to really get an attitude. You can just chill. What do you think? Can we just chill instead? I love this little thing. Get you one of these, folks. It's a brilliant little tool. It's all soft and it's great for these corners and edges and chamfers and even the straight runs, all of it. Automotive tool. You find it in the automotive department. But it's so good at this. And now we're going to put our final sand on our, this is the final sand right here before we start working the finishes in. And we'll have to look up and see if the boiled linseed oil needs to be on it before we can put a finish on, like how long because I am going to put a gloss finish on this cane. I don't always do that, but I am going to do it this time. I think this one can handle it. The thing that scares me about gloss finishes, I'll tell you a secret about painting. The more gloss on the surface of the paint, right? The more gloss, the more light is reflected. And the more light is reflected, the more imperfections are available to be seen. Flat paint diffuses light, which is the opposite of that, which helps imperfections hide. And that's probably the plus side of flat finishes. But problem is, if you got details that you want to be seen, you gotta go gloss. You gotta go gloss. So what I'm doing now is just kind of softening my last little corners, cleaning up all this grain. And then I'm going to go upstairs and retrieve my compressor so that I can properly get all of this dust off here for my final cleaning and our final finish. It's called a shillelagh, or Irish baton, says Calvin Dad's Workshop. Appreciate it. Always have some education into moderation. I got bars today. I don't even know what to say. I got bars today, son. Yo, so I'm going to take these off for just a second. Hopefully they don't go weird on you. I'm going to go get the compressor. I'll be right back. I didn't want to risk disconnect. Paco, how you doing? Heel says, is that a burn finish? It is beautiful. It is a burn finish with also some epoxy and also some actual dye. So yes, burning was a part of that finished process. I'll be right back. All right. I'm almost back. Guess who's almost back? That doesn't work as good. Let's see. Where's my hose? Shit. Crikey. There's my bloody hose. Where is it? There is it. It's not here, is it? It's not here at all. Not here at all. Lord me. Okay. So now I gotta go get my air hose. Gun. Frick. Frickin' frack. I'm almost back, but not quite yet. I ain't seen it yet. It ain't outside that I do regret. I don't know where it is. Can't find it yet. Ain't found it yet. I ain't found it yet. All right. I cannot find my sprayer. I'm at my air hose. I don't even know what you call that thing. But here's some noise. So if you're ear sensitive, cover them up. Couldn't find my actual little air sprayer, so I just got my automotive gun paint sprayer without the box, but it works. It does the exact same thing. Maybe a little too good. Let me move some of this stuff just in case. Get that there. Get the knives out of the way. Hurt ourselves. And by now, I would imagine by the time we get this cleaned up, we'll probably have enough glue up done on that pendant that we're making that'll be dry and ready to go for the violin that we're doing. Let me jump in here and see if I missed anything in the chat. Here we go. Let's get it out. Sorry, I'll have to crank back up. trying to go until that thing stopped and it won. Okay. You know, use time. You know, no idle time here. All right. For those that may think this is a little excessive looking, but this is oak. It has a lot of fine grain. And I'm going to show you real quick, if I can, why so much air, so much effort towards the air here. Let me see if I can get you. I'm going to try to see if I can give you kind of my view of it. So here we go. Now, you're going to have to look a little closely at this to see it, but I'm going to try to get it close. But watch this grain. It looks fine right now. Nothing's coming off it, right? Look in here. And so all that little fine dust I got to get out. And it's also in the head here. So I'm going to have to put that compressor back on it. And while I'm doing it, you can look at that. I'll be doing me another quick little rep set. And then we'll be back at it like Craftmatic. Now we clean. What does that sound? Huh. I don't know. Check it in a minute. I don't know. It sounds like my what you call it outside. It sounds like my water. It's the freaking gutters. It's raining. Oh my gosh. Raining. Okay, so let's get some finish on this. Thank you everybody for the likes. This is really great. I appreciate it. So now we're going to clean that up. And I think I'm gonna get some microfiber for that. Give me a quick second to grab a fresh one. What do you want, a fresh one? Eh? Of course I don't know where they are. And I wonder what we should clean with. We'll use acetone. Dries fast. Gives us some idea of what we got going on. I'm gonna spin you around and force you to look towards me. Look at me. Look at me. I'll pop this open with the wrong tool, of course. Open up, you son of a gun. Daddy of a fatty. Yeah, there we go. This is stuff. This is stuff right there. Alright. So, while we get ready for this, one thing that is important that we need to do is protect our necks. In this case, fairly controlled, so we're not. I'm not going to tell you what to do in your shot. I'm not going to put goggles on for this. I am going to put on some hand protection, and I am going to do some ventilation, some fans, and something over the old schnozzle so that I don't have to inhale all these chemicals. And if I were you, I would do the same, at least. We all know I do a bare minimum to protect myself. But that does not mean you should do the same. It actually means eventually you'll see an example of why. Dum dum dum. And the channel went dark. Let's see now. Where's my masks? Where are my masks? Check it out, party people. This is party this year, and for a new dance, I know the damn word. This is for all you people concerning brand new dance called the Pee Wee Herman. Okay. Mask up. Unc said, let me hit this set right quick. That's exactly right. We hit that set right quick. Ain't no need in wasting time sitting around. Okay, this will give us some idea of what we're going to end up with here. This acetone is very, very good at cleaning stuff. So that'll get us to our natural. Look at that. But it's going to dry right quick and get right back. It'll get that dust off in the process, which is what we're after. We just want to get clean, baby. We just want to get clean. But this stuff is strong. This is what ladies' fingernail polish remover consists primarily of. It's very good cleaning. Very good at cleaning. Like even in this circumstance, we want our top somewhat clean. And then I'll just flip to the other side. That'll give us another quick idea, a little sneak peek at what this can look like. We don't want to do too much because, as you can see, acetone is also a remover of stuff outside of the dirt. So you don't want to get too crazy. And now we just wash down the rest of our cuisine. Looks great. Smells terrible. Whew. Glad to get that back on there. And then I am also going to grab me a little box fan. And every shop should have a little box fan. A couple, really. So that you can get fumes out in a hurry. So I'm going to put mine over here a little bit off camera, but it's going to be on. And it is going to be getting the acetone smell out of here, and it's also going to be getting the other stuff we're going to put on here in a second out of here. So, also, my acetone rag, I'm going to also get over there, so it's not restricting my beautiful breathing, etc. etc. All right. Much better. Subliminal Locks says 300 viewers west is happening. How you doing, Subliminal Locks? Subliminal Locks is one of my favorite stations. You go over there and she's so real. She is so real. And she is as raw and open as you get. And been a fantastic friend of the channel for quite a while. And I'm a great friend of her channel for quite a while. You should be too. So here we are, getting ready to put some finishes on this thing. Where's the boiled linseed oil? I can't get it fast enough. But here's what I'm going to do. Boiled linseed oil up here and here. And then 2K gloss here. Yeah. Because I can still hold it with the linseed oil. And then I can do the gloss separate. While I'm fumigating the shop, I might as well, right? We're going to get a different rag for that. We're going to get a disposable shop rag for this one because we got to throw this in the fireplace once we're done in case it spontaneously combusts. This is a ridiculous thing patent to one of the most popular finishes there are. But the truth is, it's a beautiful finish, and that's just what's going to have to happen. And so let me ask y'all real quick, should I just do the boiled linseed oil over this as well? And then I'll still put the gloss on everything? Ronald Gordy says hi. What up, Ron? All right, let me get you close. Let me get you close. I know you want to see this magic. I'm sorry if I'm ignoring your chat. I will get right to you right quick. This is always the part that I'm excited to see. I'm always started when you reach dramatic place. Oof! Already. Look how dramatically different that is already. I love that. Immediately that looks like something expensive and nice. Immediately. Oh, look at that. Would you look at it? And I'll tell you this. You clean that off, we took it to 220 and that's it. This shop cloth is gliding over top of this like butter. Like no snagging, no pulling, no anything. Because you know shop cloth on oak, if it's not smooth, it'll snag up like crazy. You'll have little glue. Look at that. Dude. Ugh. And I got a little bit up here on this black, and now I want to do it all. I just do. I just do. Matthew Smith, hey Wes, looking good as normal. I've been experimenting with coffee, mineral oil, steel wool, and vinegar. Not at the same time. As wood stains and dyes. What's something you've experimented with that's been better or worse than you thought? This is an experiment. This is actually, the red on here is an epoxy resin dye that comes in these little tiny bottles, but it's pretty potent. I'm putting it on there and giving myself kind of a back color. It's similar to like that Japanese style where you burn the wood and you stain it. Because we did burn it first, and then we stained it, and then we burnt it, epoxied it, sanded off most of the epoxy, dyed it, and now we're gonna put some more of this on it. But I'm gonna jump over to the handle because I'm excited about that too. So let's do the handle real quick. You just go right over that eye. It's epoxy. It should be okay. It started to pop. Look how bright that eyelid got all of a sudden. That's good. I was worried about that. I have been avoiding those with the finish, but they are epoxy. They're made of epoxy, so it makes sense that it could do well. So Shushiban, I think is what Calvin is telling me that's called, and that sounds right. Oh man, I have been waiting for this cane to look good enough that I can give it to who I'm intending on giving it to. And I think today's the day, and I'm feeling so sentimental about this right now. Because, you know, before I'm just worried it wasn't going to look like something to be proud of. I don't know. But it feels like it's getting there now. It feels like something that's been cared for properly. So let me get a little bit more stuff on here, and then I'm going to hit that with the same, I love this finish. Matthew says, I love Portland seed oil. I'm telling you, it's so good. It's so good. And Matthew, I'll tell you this too. The spray on, I like the oil base, but like the spray on finishes and the spray on colors like out of the big box stores, as long as the oil base, you spray it on and then you brush it, you get some fantastic stuff out of that. Fantastic. That's what I've been using for a while. Now let's see what we get. Oh, that's looking as classy as we can get. I like it so much. Oh man. Oh man. Look at that. I don't know if you're seeing it the same way I am. But holy moly, from over here on this side, I am impressed at what this color is doing. This finish looks unique and purposeful at the same time. It looks completely intentional, which it was, but it was a result of some other things failing first and us having to recover from it. But that's it. That is the cane, ladies and gentlemen. And I know most of you here already know about this, but just in case you don't, let me show you the actual feature of this cane. Alright. Let's see if the setup is right. Okay. Can you see that? You put light to it. That's what you get. Light away, and goes away. On the other side, anyway, that's kind of the magic of this thing. And so, we have accomplished this, I think. It's got a couple of experiments on this cane, like a bunch, really. This is the first time I've done, like I did a cane with these laminated pieces, where 3 separate pieces put together. But each of these is whole, full length all the way through. This is carved into them after I glued them together and it's set up and all of that stuff. So that's a first for me doing that. And then I carved in this pattern of ribboning going around the cane and sort of squeezing out the rest of it. And that's a first for me in a cane. And this type of head, I've only built 3 canes my whole life, so this is number 2. So it's the first time I got this kind of head. Sort of an original design. I like the way it's held, and I kind of made it this way, you know. And this is also my first successful metal inlay, thanks to a couple of guys in the chat that gave me some good ideas about it. Calvin being one of them, Dad's Workshop, so get over there and see cool shit too. But that really worked for the handles, I think. And it gets this black. And this is the first epoxy pour I've ever done, was for the eyes. And I did that and it worked out good. I poured both sides separately. You can go on the lives and see how I did if you want. I leave them all up, so. That cane turned out good. Put one more touch on it before I put it away, and then we'll get over there and get on that. It just keeps coming back alive. I'm gonna have to do this a couple times, let it soak in, and just keep going. Oh God! Every time I retouch it, it makes me want to kiss myself. But once we get that good 2K over it, you can forget it. This thing will be bulletproof. It'll be Rottweiler proof. Your grandpa's gonna be alright, kiddo. Walk safe and stride right, honk. Dad's Workshop says it came out amazing. I thank you for that, Calvin. I appreciate it. I think it did. Stay pretty, try to stay pretty humble, but I think it did come out pretty good. Plywood says, nice play on words. I didn't even notice. That's how slow I am. Calvin is a clever brother over there. Your experiments look amazing, says Plywood. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you, everybody. Randy, how you doing? Dad with the dad jokes. I like it. That's right. This chat is going to be full of those. But, Big Daddy Kane has entered the chat. I'm going to polish on it just a little bit more, and you're going to have to deal with that. And then, our violin material should be dry. Don't get excited. I'm not building an actual violin. I am building a necklace. I'm going to build a necklace that's going to be shaped like a violin. And, try to make something cool out of it. Matthew says, I recently heard ducks have feathers to cover their butt quacks. Dad jokes galore. Come in here and collect them. Go to work tomorrow and be a freaking hero. 37 dad jokes out of the blue. You'll be the life of the office. Dad's Workshop says, I'm literally here all week. Phillips Super B is shooting hearts at us. We'll shoot hearts back at you, brother. Hearts back at you. But right now, chains of fire. Chains of fire. In the world we belong. Let me show you this little special cane. Okay, and these are both oak, but they have a little coloration difference, right? I like that little contrast, you know what I mean? Gives me another little element of interest on the back side. Pretty low. Pretty low. Drop that right there. Sit with it. It ain't doing it. There we go. Samuel says, nice job. Ronan says, did I just hear a Big Daddy Kane reference? Yes. The B-I-G-D-A-D-D-Y-K-A-N-E, dramatic, Asiatic, unlike any, Stepping to me? See, that's a wrong move. So what you want, hot? Dope or dog food? Samuel says, nice job. Thank you. Emery White says, hi, what's up, Emery? How you doing? Yeah, Rooney, this one was titled the Big Daddy Kane. I've got, Big Daddy Kane 2. But the very first cane I made for my father-in-law. He loved it for about 3 seconds, maybe. And then he was like, yeah, it's cool. Let me show you the rubber bands I put on the one that I have now to hold my umbrella on. And then it was just no contest. I went. He's like, look, you can push this button and adjust it in. It's like aluminum. So, Big Daddy Kane 2, put a little effort into it, put it together for a tradesman I know who is getting around about cane age, and who taught me a lot of what I know about carpentry. So we're gonna do a gift. But I think this might be good enough for me to like make a short about it, take some photos, and get it the heck out of my shop. It's been here for like 2 months. I've been working on this, just off and on, here and there, all these little experiments, trying to give breaks in between so that the next idea is cohesive with the previous idea. And I think we did it well enough where we got it a little bit busy, but not so busy that it's annoying. Couple little surprises, a little, what do you call them? Easter eggs, if you will, or in the eyes, and being able to see that change is going to be a cool thing. As religious guys, so the crosses are a big deal for them. And then that right there. So, you know, all in all, I think a success, and I think I can hang this up now. Hope I didn't hit a dumb button. Got a little bicycle rack right here that I can hang stuff on. Almost done. I got 200 likes in here. Y'all are amazing for that. I've done 0 begging today, and I've got likes. I appreciate you very, very much. Thank you so much. And a buddy from Australia came in here and dropped off some cash in the chat, and I appreciate that. Super chats is still a thing. You can do it here if you want to. But if you don't, that's all good too. I just like you hanging out. But I like it hanging out when you pay for lunch too. You know? Sir, that is a gorgeous piece of work, says Rachel. Love the live title too. Had me chuckling on this Saturday morning. Stay blessed. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But we're running out of coffee. I need to get some more. Love this chat. I appreciate y'all very much. The fumes are already gone out of here, so I think I can go ahead and close that out. And I think I am gonna, we already put the board linseed oil on this mallet, but we're gonna go ahead and spray it off. We made a lot of sawdust. I like this thing to be nearby because we're giving this away today. If you go on any of my videos and say underneath the video, I want that mallet, then you can get entered into the drawing. This is happening tonight, some point. There we go. Clean this girl back up. Clean this girl back up. And we're going to put a spray finish over to, I wanted at least 3-4 coats of the boiled linseed oil on this before I put the sealer on it. But I am going to seal it up with a 2K clear. Maybe satin, maybe gloss. Maybe satin for this one, gloss for the cane. But every time you light it up, it gets better and it gets more protected, so it makes no sense not to do it until it goes out. So I'll keep it available so it can stay shiny and pretty, and you got the opportunity to win it if you want. Also, if you are a member of this channel, you're automatically entered into it. And I'll announce it, and then if you become aware, because you'll be a member, I'll do a members only video for this drawing, and then I'll also do a drawing for the subscribers who just said I want that mallet in the below any of the videos. You'll also be in it, and then I'll do that drawing tonight. I'll do it tonight. Very unique mallet. I've used 6 different types of wood on this, and I've got 7 wedges in the handle on this. And this is my first both inlay and my first negative space cutout on a mallet. And this is my first heart carved on a mallet. And this is my first softwood mallet that's got hardwood faces. That is cherry and that is walnut. Same as what the heart's made out of. Cherry and walnut. And you can win it. You can win it. Willett says, my man on point. Appreciate you, bro. I'm so thrilled when anybody comes in here and has a little hip hop in the system. You know what I mean? It's a big part of what keeps me going. The hip hop workshop. I swear that the second YouTube is like, yeah, play what you want, whatever music, I'm gonna be in here going off. But until then, you know, I got all these 80s rap lyrics stuck in my head, 90s rap lyrics in my head. I might as well do something with them. Wow, I'm entertaining you. Let stuff like this. Let stuff like this. Let stuff like this. Oh, Calvin says he put his heart into that. That jokes. You get one of them clown horns. Dogs walk around squeaking all the time. 211 likes. That's dope. Calvin says, let me stop. Please don't. You can't stop the rain. Told y'all I'm here all week, he says. All week. Oh, that's a good view. Might as well hit the spoon while I'm here. I mean, I'm here. Why not hit the spoon too? A little touch of the linseed. Just to bring out some more of that grain. Well, this is the first time I've worked with basswood. It's pretty nice. Pretty fun to carve. It feels similar to pine, but less volatile. If that makes sense. Just more manageable, more reasonable. That would be cute little setup. I'm over here staging because I gotta go get a drink of water, and I want y'all to stay interested and still be here when I get back. So that's what I'm doing to promote that. But we are gonna get going on the violin too. It's coming. It's coming. What time? Oh God, we've been on live 3 hours. Yo, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna go get something to eat. I'm gonna go hug my wife, kiss my kids, and I will be back. But we'll do the violin when I get back. Cool. Okay. That's it right there. That's the violin. I should be like taking photos and stuff like that so that I can have a cup. Okay, y'all. I'm out of here. I'll be back. I'll holler at y'all later. If you get the opportunity, go hang out with Calvin at Dad's workshop. I don't know when he'll be on, but subscribe to him, and then that way you can see whenever he's on. Mike is making stuff, also a good friend of the channel. And we love that Plywood is here with us most every time we come on. Good dude, Matthew. And for sure that one of the heroes of the day has been Calvin and Miss Heather running the chat. And then we had a good friend from the UK, not from the UK, from Australia, drop off a couple bucks on us, and we are grateful eternally for that kind of thing. because that's what's going to keep the channel moving forward. Calvin says I'll be on at 12:15. Good eat, sir. Thanks a lot, Plywood. All y'all be good. Y'all be safe. Have a good time. Do the right thing. Peace. West Desert.